Let's look a little bit into how a typical role in a software sales organization looks like. And you see also in the description the career paths, and I'd like now to start with you in the entry level. If you are starting as a salesperson, typically you can start as an intern. That means you get first prospecting jobs, for example, you get first assistant jobs, you help other sellers to do certain things. Yeah? This is one very, very typical entry point. And the most common entry point is you start as a sales development representative. If you read that, typically in software as a service companies, SDR in short, or sales development representatives, these are the entry-level roles where you start your career in sales. What are you doing in this role? We will cover that in other playbooks in more details, but want to give you today here an overview what you do here. And first of all, you do prospecting. That means you look out for people who could potentially use the software you are selling. You qualify them on certain criteria. That means you ask a lot of questions. You try to understand the needs of the other person, the needs of your customer, and figure out, does the solution fit for them? And in most organizations, this depends heavily on the size of the organization, but also the products and services you are selling. You, on the one hand side, set up meetings for your account executives. And an account executive is someone who works already with customers together, knows a lot more about the product already, is more experienced, who also can close deals. And on the one hand side, you set up meetings for these account executives, or depending on the deal size, you actually also close deals by yourself. That means you really acquire, present, and close customers. Typically, when you start your career, you are 1, 2, sometimes also 3 years in that sales development role. During my career, I really have learned that you need to be patient. Yeah? Patience will pay off. Why? It doesn't make sense if you are 6 months in a new company selling a complex sales product, and then you get promoted immediately to an account executive and then probably promoted again. You need to learn these fundamentals as best as you can. So it starts with a junior sales development representative role where you learn all the tactics. Typically 1 to 3 months, you learn everything, you get onboarded and so on and so forth. Hope you have also a good onboarding experience with certain tools and certain playbooks. It's very, very important. And after these 1 to 3 months, you will start with your outreaches. You will start to contact people, you will call people, you will email people, and you will be really working on activities day in, day out. So your whole day should be and will be structured for completing certain tasks. And after like 3 to 6 months, typically you get promoted from a junior role, which is an entry-level role, to a sales development representative. This means that, for example, you already start to be a buddy for others. You get introduced to others, new joiners, and help them to go the same journey as you. And this is what you then do 1 year, 2 years, and so on, to learn the fundamentals. Again, depending on the product, I've been, for example, selling video infrastructure, which is also at a certain stage complex with codecs and so on and so forth. We were selling to engineers, so I had to learn a lot. And obviously this takes then a little bit longer than when you're selling some commodity software, which is easy to explain. Looking into that, what's next? Typically you start and work with not the most important customers. So when you start, no one will come to you and say, oh, now please work with our most important customer and contact them. You will rather start with smaller customers, with not the most important customers, and work your way up. And typically after 6 months at the earliest, I would rather say 1 year-ish, you can get promoted to an enterprise sales development representative. That means you work with bigger customers, with the enterprise customers, if your organization has some enterprise business. The sales development role itself works still with incoming leads. And for those who don't know what a lead is nothing else than someone who is interested in buying your product or your service. And incoming means they actively reached out to your company. They actively reached out to you. That means someone, for example, gave the company a call and mentioned, hey, I'm interested in your service. Can we have a chat or a demo to look at that? And this is an incoming inbound lead. Once you walked through these stages, incoming leads, the sales development, enterprise sales development role, you can get promoted also to a business development representative. What is a business development representative doing? Again, an entry-level role. The only difference is you are now in charge reaching out to the people and the people don't come to you. Do you think that's harder? Say aye if you think so. It is harder. Why? You are reaching out to people and now you are going to convince them that they should actually buy the service or product or even jump on a meeting with you. They have probably never heard of you. They don't know that you exist. There is competition in the market. They have not done their evaluation and so on and so forth. These are the typical roles, sales development representatives as business development representatives, which start in software sales. And then once you are at this stage where I say you saw the software development roles, the business development roles, you actually have the possibility to multiple tracks and then the real fun starts. Why? You can at the one stage go down the account executive path. What is that? You are starting a pure career in sales. That means you talk to customer, you acquire the customer, you present it, and hopefully you close also customers. This is your typical day. This is the typical day you do. Account executive, again, will take you a couple of years to work that out, to get all the techniques, to develop yourself to a very, very great leader in sales. The other track typically you can go is you go into a management track. So you have these two tracks, the I say doer track, or the manager track. The doer track is really selling. The manager track is leading other people, coaching other people. Both is possible, and typically once you get promoted from the SDR or BDR role, you lead these kind of people. So you did the job first. Now you can get promoted as a sales development leader, as a business development leader to do that job as well. Help new joiners to do the same thing you did as well. Outside of these two typical roles, there is also another possibility, which is a little bit outside of that. Obviously, once you are 1 year, 2 years into this entry-level sales role, for some people, sales might not be the right fit. And please have a look at the sales mindset playbook. There we talk about what you need to have as a salesperson and how you can develop that. But if you think after that 1 year, hey, sales is not for me, in a lot of organizations, there is another career path where you can go into marketing, customer success, and even some other roles. We will not be focusing on that career. This is also a very, very great career possibility after your entry-level sales. We are focusing today on the account executive, the sales doer part, and the sales manager part. And it's not unrealistic that from today on, in 5 years, you will be leading a sales organization. 5 years is definitely possible, especially if you're joining, for example, a software as a service company who is growing rapidly. You will learn a ton. I had that possibility as well, and thanks to the co-founders Stefan and Chris, who allowed me to join a very, very fast-growing startup. And this was my journey where I then also learned all these skills. And within 5 years, it's definitely possible on both sides, on the sales doer side, when you are doing sales, to work with enterprise customers. What does this mean? You fly to important customers, sometimes all over the place, all over the world, flying to the United States, to Dubai, flying across Europe, because you are closing deals worth $500,000, worth $1 million, really huge deals. This needs to develop some skill set, obviously, but in 5 years, you can be there easily with the right playbooks and with eagerness to learn as well, and also the willingness to invest the time in that. That means in 5 years from now, you can earn 200, 300, 400, up to 500,000 in software sales, depending on how successful you are. And this is something which is really worth exploring further. The other track is the manager track. That means you first manage junior people, help them to become better. You can then get to the next level where you actually manage managers. Typically, this is a director function. Yeah? So once you are a director, you typically manage a team of multiple people. Yeah? So a director is managing typically 2-3 teams, which each with team leads, and then these team leads manage again certain team members. Again, this is possible within a couple of years that you get to a director level. And then the next stage is when you are becoming a vice president. And this is then really when you are strategically responsible for a whole division, like a vice president of sales responsible for delivering the whole sales numbers and having a lot of directors, a lot of managers working with you. You work very close with the whole leadership team. You work very close with other departments in your organization. And last but not least, you can get promoted to the C-suite. What does this mean? Chief Sales Officer, Chief Revenue Officer, working alongside with the Chief Executive Officer, the Chief Product Officer, the Chief Technology Officer, and you are really leading the strategic initiatives of the whole company when it comes to sales and revenue. And again, it's possible to do that within 5 years if you learn the right tactics, and we want to support you on that journey and share with you all the best playbooks we developed from other best and successful teams. And then this is your journey in sales. And I hope this motivates you as well. Why? Sales is not only that you earn a lot of money. I truly believe you can be free. You can earn a lot of money. You get to know so many nice and great people, because typically as a salesperson, especially on the enterprise level, you talk to other executives because your product serves a great value. And this is just some of the exciting parts of software sales. Have a look in the description. Here you see the career paths also with some more details, how this looks like. And now let's jump into more details on what software sales actually is and how you can thrive in that areas.